Hello and great day to you. It's great to be back with you once again in this battle for correction and redirection. If you like what I'm doing, why don't you go ahead and give me a thumbs up? If you really dig what I'm doing, why don't you go ahead and think about subscribing? It won't cost you a single dime. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit that notification bell? That way you're notified every time I drop new content. And since you're feeling good, why don't you go ahead and share this video with someone? It might just help them along the way. Well, as you know, I love being in the battle for correction and redirection. Now, in this world of social media, we find that there is a huge need for correction and redirection. And the people who we want to correct and redirect today are men who follow so many of these false, phony, alpha male, relationship guru type content creators. Here we have once again another fake guru being exposed for being nothing more than a fraud. Now, when I say fraud, I'm referring to the message that he puts out. Now, he's not a fraud in being a businessman because he found an avenue to revenue. And hey, he did his best and he did what he's supposed to have done to capitalize on it. And so many men, I would say so many weak men who refuse to think for themselves, fell victim to yet another alpha male guru. Now, this individual that we speak of seems to be a very highly intelligent individual, one who's well spoken. And I must say, he is a very clever individual because, hey, he saw which way the market was turning and he invested his stock in the right stock. Weak men who refuse to think for themselves, but also wanted someone to actually give them a reason why they are failing in the area of relationships. This guy knew to capitalize on weak men who needed to blame someone else for their failures. Whether it was their failure to recognize when a woman was using them, or whether it was their failure to actually recognize when they needed to actually correct and redirect themselves. Now, I have seen several content creators going in deep on this false, phony, fake guru. And I've seen individuals call in to the individual's live show or come in via video to defend this individual. Now, I can sit back and take a look at those individuals who are coming in to defend this person. And hey, let's be a realist. I can sit back and say, well, we can see right now, this individual never had that prom queen. He never had that pretty woman that everybody wanted. And hey, he just needed someone to tell him that it wasn't his fault. So he decided to jump on the train and follow this so-called alpha male, big-time guru who know the way of the world when it comes to regard to women. And the entire time, we find this individual preaching the gospel of why it's such a detriment to anyone, to any man, to actually date a woman with luggage. Now, I don't say baggage, I say luggage. And what I'm referring to is a woman who has a child or children by another man. And what did we find the entire time? That is exactly what this individual did. But hey, feel good about yourself. Men who won't think for themselves. He just told you that he and his woman are the exception to the rule. Now, being an individual who's in the business of legal interpretation, I just want to go ahead and let you all know the evidence is what it is. And the jury has come back and said guilty. And now the social media, let me say, gods that be, are actually handing out a sentence of punishment to this individual. When I say gods, I mean small G-O-D-S. So I don't want anyone to get offended by what I just said. So, men, it's time for you to start thinking for yourselves. Stop following every individual that actually comes up with some type of philosophical idea, some type of philosophical way of being that makes you feel good about yourself. They come up with a message that actually soothes the pain that you created for yourself. You decided not to become financially independent, wealthy, and productive. You decided to let your body just go until you just became an individual who is, I hate to say it, but not so attractive to the women that you want. You decided that you would be an individual who would basically be a hustler. Not a really good hustler, but a hustler who would just be living from day to day. Well, I know for that type of individual, it's easy to align yourself who wants to blame everything on someone else, such as these fake alpha male gurus that you find on the internet. So the first thing I want you all to do, look in the mirror, correct and redirect your life. But more importantly, start thinking for yourself. For one time in your life, put your destiny in your own hand. That way, when these frauds, such as this individual, get exposed, all you'll be able to do is say, well, hey, that did not have any effect on my life. I chose to follow my own path, and not one single word that came out of this fraud's mouth. So, as we all know, there's no such thing as there's no hope for single mothers. From the beginning of time, we've seen generation after generation of couples becoming happy unions between men with no children and women with children, and the opposite way around, women with no children and men with children. So people, don't let all of these so-called internet gurus lead you down the path of no return. Choose where you will go in life. Choose how you will find success in life. Choose how you, yes, you, will actually be able to establish and maintain successful, beautiful, productive relationships in life. Until next time, pay attention to what's going on around you. This game is just starting.